That's it! Throw Dom's vote!
I'm sorry, world. Dom might kill me right now, guys. It might be over.
How dare you say that?
Sorry, y'all. Hello, everybody. Another Amateur Bros video coming right back at you. Today, we're going to be doing the top 10 overrated board games, according to me, an expert on the topic. So, well, let's get started off. I think this is one that certainly someone at this table is going to disagree with me with. My number 10 most overrated tabletop game is Apples to Apples.
You say overrated?
Overrated. Apples to Apples is not that much fun. Alright, it was fun the first 10 times you play it. Yeah, it's fun, you're goofing around. That's funny. And then it just becomes a popularity contest. It's just, oh, who's the picker? Try and figure it out. And then it's just like, well, I want to pick that person's card because I know it's them. That's fun. Yay. No. And then the worst part is when somebody starts getting a few green cards, they're doing good. The game becomes avoid picking the correct answer. Because sometimes that person's just good at the game, but you can't let them win. You have to stop picking the right cards, so you're intentionally picking the wrong cards. Therefore, it stops becoming a game and just becomes like random, like guessing.
I think that's strategy. I think that's tactical.
King making is what I call it where I'm from, and I think
where you're from.
Crap is what I say. No.
I think trying to read the judge is strategy. Because some judges will be picking the funniest one. Some will be picking like the actual like truest answer. I don't have a problem with the judge reading part. I have a problem when people are picking someone's card just because they know it's their card and they like them. I mean,
and not
you can know the card. You can think it's their card.
Because the way they react at the table, they're like, oh, they're gonna pick my card. And like, oh yeah, I'll take that. No, bullcrap. But I agree with you. The part of actually reading the judge, that is one of the few good parts of the game.
Listen, I think there's so few people in the group that play like that, and that's not the game. There's a select few people that can ruin the game. But I think the game as a whole is a great game. That's super fun.
Every time I play the game, same problems. And it always ends up after about like 15, 20 minutes, nobody's having any fun. The first couple rounds are fun, I'll give you that. But then it just becomes boring. I play with everyone.
That's a great pick. You play with us. You need to change your group.
I mean, it's not terrible for like, I'm not saying it's the worst game ever. I just think it's highly overrated. Like, I don't hate the game. I will, when forced to, and when it comes out,
when forced to,
I'll try and get a good game on and try and have some fun, but it always just deteriorates. It never lasts. It's no staying power, you know?
I can agree that the game probably goes on too long. I mean, because especially when you're
to like 2 green cards, not like...
Okay, well that's not crazy now. But if you're playing with a decently sized group, I think it's supposed to play to 7. To win, that usually goes pretty long.
No.
I mean, if you're playing with a group,
we play like 4.
You play with a group of 5. I think 5's a good group with that because you have 4 people to choose from. You get 7. But I think when you play with too many people, I think the game can certainly linger on too long. So I think there are aspects about it that can make it overrated, but I think it's very situational.
I expected pushback on that one. Joe, what are your thoughts on it? Average? No?
It's a good game.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it does take a little too long.
Fair.
I think sometimes what happens is you can play with like a huge group, and that's kind of fun until you realize it's taking forever to even be a judge again. And it's like, well, it's sometimes fun to be a judge. And then sometimes you do get in a situation where, people take the game a little too competitive, and they're like, I'm not picking that one because that's Dom's. I don't want him to win. Exactly. So you're all. But for the most part, I don't think a lot of people that I play with don't really do that. But there's a couple people that would do that.
It's fair enough. We'll move on to the next one. Won't take too long. So next game I've got here, YAHTZEE. Very overrated. I enjoy YAHTZEE, but it's very overrated. So this is the weird one. Like, I don't hate this game. I'm not going to push back too hard on it. There's just a lot better games that do it better. Like King of Tokyo. Anybody heard of that one? Played that one? It's like a much better version of YAHTZEE. YAHTZEE's just like flavorless. It's like eating like bland rice. Sure, you have fun. You're like, oh, it's okay. It nourishes me. It's a game, but it's not anything to it special. It's just, all right, roll the dice. Okay, all right. And there's strategy to it. There's tactics. So it's not terrible, but it's just not that good.
It's supposed to have hot sauce on bland rice.
This is gonna be long for me. That's a family favorite of ours. We love YAHTZEE. YAHTZEE is so much fun. We could play that like 5-6 games in a row. Wow. YAHTZEE's fun.
His whole family's gonna dislike the video now.
Whole family's like, he's so wrong about YAHTZEE.
This is a fun game.
Not for me.
It's a simple game, but there are strategy to it.
There is some strategy. I'd give you that. Yeah.
Like obviously you're gonna hit some luck with the dice,
Yeah.
but I mean like with the way you score it and stuff like that, I think there's good strategy to it. It's a lot of fun.
It's just so I gotta introduce you to some better ones. Then you beat. You gotta broaden down the horizon.
Bro content.
I think YAHTZEE has its purpose. Like, it's really good for all ages. So it's a great family game, really. Because if you have someone that's younger and older, you know, but the rules are simple, and the concept of just rolling dice is easy to do. Then the skill comes down to actually knowing what would be more likely to happen.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. We'll move on to the next one. Yeah, we'll move on to the next one. There's a couple more. All right, we'll switch it up. This one, I'm curious what you have to think about this one. So, number 8, most overrated game, Pictionary. Anybody play Pictionary here? You just draw something and the other person like figure it out.
I guess that could be good if you're trying to show off your drawing skills.
Exactly. Great point, Samuel. But what if you're like me and you can't draw? Or what if you're like the 95% of the rest of the nation in the world that can't draw? So for 95% of the people, they're like, I can't draw. I'm sure it's funny once or twice. It's look at my terrible drawing. It's awful. Look at how bad it is. And then what? It's not a game. It's just like, I stink at drawing. Here, try and guess.
I think if you're a drawer, you should draw with your left hand.
Ooh.
Or draw with your off hand.
That's a good
If you're
tip.
ambidextrous,
Draw with your
mouth with the toes.
Draw with your offhand so that people who are already bad at drawing are even worse at drawing.
Well, only
No,
the good people
only
are drawing
good
good.
people.
Handicap. That's a good.
So like your
that's a good
brother.
tip.
Well, that's the
If he
problem.
played-
Like that's a
He
problem
would
because
have
like people who are considered good artists often don't consider themselves good artists.
Yeah.
Most good artists are perfectionists, so they'll be like, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Now, of course, most of us are like, stick figures are pretty good for us, and theirs is just like, my shading's not that good. So, you know what?
it's true.
I'll
Pictionary.
I'll agree with that.
Overrated.
I'll agree with that.
We got one. We got the first
As a board,
Let's go.
consider Pictionary overrated.
Overrated.
All right,
We all agree on that one.
Let's keep it going. And next, number 7 most overrated game, Exploding Kittens. Have we played this one or not?
I've heard and
I've played this one. This one's pretty fun, Phil.
Here's my problem with this game. I will agree with you, I had fun the first time I played it. Then I tried to play it again and I realized absolutely nothing changed. There's not much of a game to it. And I realized, oh, this game is like a one-time game. So it's the kind of game like you get it, you play it, you have fun, you're like, let's do it again, and you do it a couple more times, you're done. You're just never gonna play it again. But it gets popular off that. It's sold like millions of copies. Everybody's heard it, most people heard it. But it's really not that good. It's really overrated. There's no meat to it.
I've played it a few times, and it's a pretty crazy fun game. I'll be honest, I don't know if that's the type of game that I could play 5 games in a row to.
Exactly.
Like I can play apples for a decent amount of time. I can play YAHTZEE for a decent amount of time. I'm not sure if I can play Exploding Kids a bunch of times. I think you can play it once or twice in a sit down, but you're not going to go much further than that. Probably every once in a while I think it's fun. But I think you're right. I think you're right. For me, I don't think it's quite as solid as, even for me, apples and YAHTZEE. I don't even think it's quite as good as those. So I think we can say it's overrated.
Fair enough. All right, and now we'll go to maybe a little bit more obscure one. I don't know if everybody knows this one. Technically not like a board game, more of a card game, tabletop game. I know it is being called Mal. It's called Mal. You guys know this one?
I feel like I've heard of it.
Sounds familiar.
It's more. It might be more of a cult thing following here. So it's more like a card game you can play with a deck of cards, and basically the game is you make the rules up as you go, kind of.
When I took a class at the University of Baltimore, for the board gaming classes, I think it was one of the games we had to play that just kind of make the rules that no one knew what they were doing.
It's awful. You don't have any idea what you're doing. This is why I say it's like a cult, because you go into the game and you say, let's play Mal, and you say, great. And they deal you some cards, and then you start playing. Someone like lays down a card. They don't explain the game to you. You try and lay down another card. Like, no, you can't do that. Pick up 3 more cards. The game is to get rid of all the cards, like Uno. And so suddenly they're just giving you cards. You start talking. They say you can't talk. Here's more cards. I said, why can't I talk? And you have to say, they make up all these rules. You have to say this before you can speak. You have to do this before you can do it. And you just get a stack of cards. And it's like supposed to be funny and fun that you're like, you gotta figure out as you play. That's how and then you have to learn the game through playing it and just being handed cards over and over again.
It's kind of like those Criterion movies. You know, it's for a special niche of people.
Exactly.
But it's talked about a lot in the kind of board gaming tabletop community. So
That almost sounds like just kind of an icebreaker game more than an actual like sit down and play a game night, you know, because
the people I played with, they were serious about it. They like they would like bring it out, they would whip it out more than once. And I'm like, we're not doing this again. We did this last night. It's not happening.
I think, well then, based on what you're saying, and based on how I understand it, I'd say they have our overrated approval.
Yep.
The board confined.
I guess I never played it, but it sounds
overrated.
Right. Next one, I don't think I should get any heat on this one because it might not be a good enough take, but I've got number 5, Scrabble. Very overrated game. Some people really hate it, some people really love it, so this one might not be that much of, maybe people don't think it's very overrated, but this thing is just dumb. Like, it's a game where like, you literally can just break the game by whipping out a dictionary or your smartphone. You have to ban those tools because if not, then it's not even a game. It's just, oh, let me just type in whatever letters I have into some computer generator. Oh, there we go, 29 points. I guess if you had like, I don't know, I guess if you really loved like word games, it could be fun for you, but like for me, I just get really bored after a few seconds. And I mean, it makes me feel dumb too, because I'm like, keep getting cat over and over again. I can't get any more cats, dogs, and I'm like,
I think
it's tough.
I think I personally enjoy Scrabble, but I think that on the basis of Pictionary being pretty much broken by people who are great at drawing versus people that suck, Scrabble's on that same level where if someone
100%.
has a really good vocabulary, the person who does not have very good vocabulary is already taking it out.
Oh yeah.
Like by default.
Exactly.
Because you could both be handed the same amount of letters and you could very well, like Phil said, you could be like, cat seems pretty good, and they look at theirs and go, catechism. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, darn.
Yeah.
Well, darn.
Sure.
Game over. I'm
And yours ends up on nothing, theirs is on a triple word score, and you're playing from behind the rest of the game. So,
Then you have that one person that has ox though, but it's on all the triple letters.
I personally enjoy it, but I can see why you would say it's overrated, so I would say it's approved as overrated.
There we go. We're turning this around. Waiting for the top 3 is going to be a little painful, but we'll go with another one before we get there. We got number 4, Sorry, a very overrated game. All right.
No, that game's fantastic.
All right. Why is it good? Why do people even like this?
It's great.
It's so much fun. You know how satisfying it is to constantly sorry, and smacking their piece across the room? There's great satisfaction to that. And you have to be careful of who you sorry, because they might get revenge on you.
Yeah.
So you have to make pacts. You have to kind of make silent pacts with people.
And this is coming from the person that wanted to be Tony Stark's, okay?
Oh.
The game you get allowed to be a jerk at the game. I mean, like, and that's all Tony Stark is.
This should be your game,
I mean, this
Phil.
should be your game,
It
Phil.
just doesn't do anything more. I don't like the pointless, like, making others suffer. Like, there needs to be a point behind it. There needs to be something.
There is a point. Winning.
Yeah, but it's just like, okay, just gonna screw them over again. Yay, we did it again. Ha 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 ha. Did it again. Oh, I did it again. Ha ha. Same thing. Ha ha. It's just like no joy out of that. I get no joy out of that. I'm gonna like defeat them with strategy.
I'm not gonna lie. I just played this like the other night.
Oh my god.
Me,
I was hoping this was
me, Evan, like this video called my 2 brothers in Louisiana, and we held the phone over the board. We played for it. It was hilarious. We had a great time.
Oh no.
This game was fantastic. I love this.
It's a great game.
So it's a
Size me
sit.
up, Samuel. It's terrible, right?
I think I played it once when I was really young. I haven't played it.
Because he's smart. He's smart. He never plays Samuel. Never played it again.
I think we need to play it on amateur.
I think we need to play Sorry. I think we need to play Sorry on Amateur Bros. You comment below if you want to see Amateur Bros play Sorry.
What have I become?
Let's go for it.
Clearly, I'm not going to
But
beat him on that.
I'll give you a little bit. It sometimes gets a little old just going around the board. But it's a good game.
Agree to disagree. It's fine.
Yes.
And number 3, I don't know what kind of pushback I'm going to get here. I got Monopoly. Very, very overrated game.
I would have to
see that.
Oh, I see. I would have to say that I don't think it's overrated because I don't think there's many people that think it's that good.
I was wondering if you'd say that. Yeah.
That's how I think. Because I like it but I can never really play it because no one really wants to play with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
So like, I would almost rather put that on an underrated list than an overrated list.
It's a good point you make, because I can honestly see it both ways. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you either love it or you hate it. Half the people out there seem to love it, half the people out there seem to hate it. The people who hate it, like, they don't talk as much, they just kind of just hate it, you know? Maybe they hate it more sometimes.
I think there's more people that hate it, which is very interesting
But it
because
still sells
there
so
are-
many copies.
there are so many monopolies. Like, there's tons of different types of
in
monopolies.
production out there.
Yeah,
I just had a friend that showed Hagerstown Monopoly. I was thinking, what the heck?
that's
Yeah.
so cool. I didn't
Yeah.
know that one.
Yep.
Yeah, there's like a bajillion types of monopolies, but like does not seem like a lot of people that want to play that game.
That's true. Just because every household in America has one doesn't mean it's actually getting played.
Yeah.
You know? So maybe it just sits in the closet doing nothing.
It is. Yeah.
And that's okay with me because that's where it belongs. So, all right, next. Next, number 2, we've got Uno. What?
That's it.
Throw Dom's vote!
I'm sorry, world. I'm for it. Dom might kill me right now, guys. It might be over.
How dare you say that? Uno's fantastic. I can't believe that.
I have won multiple games of Uno with my cards laid out flat for everyone to see, proving that there is zero skill in the game. Because I literally show my opponents my cards, I lay them all flat, and I say, here's my cards, I've got these. I play the entire game, them knowing, they know what I have, and I still can win.
Whoever you're playing with is sucks
No,
at
I
this
played
game.
with you guys at work the one time, and I did it. You weren't there that day.
Exactly. You definitely weren't playing with me, Phil.
No, you probably, but they knew it was coming, but they couldn't do anything to stop it because they saw my cards, but they didn't have cards to skip me. They didn't have a card to reverse it. They didn't have any draw twos. So the game can literally play itself on occasion. There is decisions in Uno. I do agree with that. After playing it more, unfortunately, I've been forced to play it a lot because groups really like it, and I'm just being social, you know. But the decisions are extremely minor. It's very, very little impact, very low impact. Maybe one per game that actually matters. It really doesn't because you're just guessing what the next caller will be. You can kind of balance your hand, but there's still not a lot to it. It's tough, man.
I have to strongly disagree.
Okay.
I think it's great because it's just random chaos. It's because like I've played so many times where someone's like, aha, I'm gonna change color, and it was the color I have, and then I win the game, right? When they could have just kept it the same, and then I just had to keep drawing, right? So now you're playing mind games with the people, like, you know, like one of the best things is you have to change the color, and you only have one card left. One of the things is, oh, I'm gonna say it's red, but I have blue, so they're gonna change it to something else. Hopefully they get back around.
I mean, when you're playing
Or you just go like red and you just hope they don't change it.
when you're playing with a bunch of people that like really know the game, it's interesting because it's like a bunch of Sherlock Holmes where you're just all like overthinking the situation. Now, on the flip side, if you're playing with a bunch of people who are just like aren't putting any thought into it at all, I think you're right. I think it can very well play itself. Because like you can always do that. Like, but I think when a bunch of people are putting a lot, like putting effort into the game, I think you're all like, what would Phil does have? I think he played a blue, and I think he called for red earlier. And it becomes an entertaining game because then you're putting a lot of thought into a game that doesn't necessarily need a lot of thought. Which is why it can become chaotic because you can mix people who are overthinking with people who are not thinking at all.
That's fair.
And you can play with any size, really.
That's true.
And there's a whole bunch of.
Yeah, but it gets kind of boring with more than like, I don't know. I wouldn't want to play with more than like 6 because then it just takes forever to get back to you.
True.
So then you're not doing anything. You're just like,
I don't think I played.
I wouldn't go over 6. But I mean, I wouldn't play it too often either. But I mean, I have played it and I've had fun moments. So finally, last but not least, I guess,
Should I brace myself? Or?
I don't know how much heat we're gonna get on this. So here we go. Number 1 most overrated game is
Overrated game.
Phase 10.
No. No way.
Oh no.
No way.
No
way!
He just ticked off.
How's that overrated?
He just ticked off Joe.
I wasn't sure. I knew someone wasn't gonna like me.
How? That one definitely has more skill than all the other games you had. It definitely has more skill than
Alright,
Uno.
explain the skill in Phase 10. I still can't understand it. What is the skill in Phase 10? What am I doing wrong with Phase 10?
Alright, so the biggest skill is when you have your sets. You have to get your the 3 of the set and then the 4 of the set. There's a strategy where you get that out as quick as possible, and then you have to do it, or you can hold on to it because then people can't work off your hand. If you know you're going to get out, why would you get out and so you have all your cards can get out. So then
So you
don't
just
play off
hold
your-
you just.
So you hold them as long as possible.
What if everybody just holds their hand? Yeah, I've seen that before.
But see what happens is you hold out, right, and you drop your whole hand,
Yeah.
and then no one can play, and you move on, and the people are stuck.
Yeah.
And then now you get to
real
work.
fun for those other 5 people who are
Yeah,
just
but they're
stuck at phase 1.
But they're still working on it though, because then you can get stuck here, and then you keep working.
I don't know, man. I don't know if there's my strategy, because it sounds good what you're saying, and I like that, and I've heard that strategy before. My problem is you still got to get the cards to actually be able to make the phases. So that works if you get lucky enough to draw the right cards.
Yeah, but you
what
can
if
pull it from the pile.
Yeah, but
but
what
they
if
drop it.
What if you pull from the pile and you don't get the right card, and then you're like, I still don't get the right card. I still don't have what I need, because I've tried that before. I'm like, oh, I'll hold my cards.
Drop the card, you can pick that card up.
Well, what if that's not the one you need?
Yeah.
Then you're screwed, because it all comes down to, did I get the right card I need? No, I didn't. Did I get the right card I need? No, I didn't. And then it's just like, I get it. There's a couple decisions in there. But overall, I end up just feeling like, I didn't get the right card. Oh, they've got everything. They're on phase 2. They're on phase 3. Everybody else is on phase 1. I've seen more people quit this game than like any other game I've played. So many people just quit.
More quit that game than Monopoly?
Yeah. Oh. Okay, that's a good point. Monopoly takes the cake, but phase 10 is definitely the second one I've seen. I've seen people just be like, I'm done. I quit.
To be honest,
Every game someone will quit because it's just terrible.
I'm actually like I'm not actually upset with that decision. I don't think it's the most overrated, but I'm not a huge fan of phase 10. But I've also not played it that often. I've actually never finished a game of phase
You've
10.
been blessed. There it is.
I've never finished one. I think I've played 3 or 4 times only, but I don't think the game was ever completed.
Because it takes too long too. That's the other problem with that game. It takes forever. Just play and play and play, and it's not that fun. You just keep playing and playing and playing. I don't know. Maybe if you're like, it might be a moment where it'd be fun, but.
Okay,
Sorry,
so,
Jeff.
but I'm interested. Samuel, you've been very quiet on this one. So what would you say on phase 10? Have you played phase 10?
I have never played it.
Oh, we gotta play it on Amateur Bros.
Interesting.
I seem to play. I don't seem to play the popular games. I seem to play just kind of random niche games like Betrayal on the House of the Hill.
Yeah,
It's a pretty fun game. And a couple other kind of weird games like that.
Weird games like Ultimate Werewolf or
Yeah. When I Sleep.
When I Sleep, weird games like that.
Oh yeah.
But
But
but you can always mix it up though. You can skip rounds, so you go from one, and then you have the game half the speed.
we tried that as well. It's not a whole lot of success, but agree to disagree. You made a pretty good defense, I will say.
I mean, I think it's better than Uno though, right? But you're saying it's overrated though.
Yeah, overrated. I don't know which one. I'm forced to play one or the other. I don't know. It's a tough call.
Uno's definitely easier to play.
Uno's so much. I can't.
It's so much easier.
You hurt my heart with that one. I mean, you hurt my heart with several of them, but that one kind of felt close to home.
That one might be
That one hit me. That one hit me.
I forgot Joe really likes Space Time. I actually probably forgot.
I did forget about that. I didn't even have to get upset about that one.
I put it number 1.
But again, I can see it with the same thing with Monopoly. No one wants to play though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing, but I don't have anyone to play it with. Which is
Joe played with you.
We're gonna play right here. I
even have Overwatch.
We'll wrap it up there. Joe's gonna go play FaceTime with Samuel for a couple hours and see how that goes. But thanks for watching, everybody. Amateur Bros back out, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hope you enjoyed the video. Peace out.